Well, I'll tell you, when this thing started in March, there was so much uncertainty, of course, in the world and in our congregation that I felt like it was an important part of my job to provide this sense of normalcy as much as I could for security for the congregation who was used to worship in our sanctuary. So one of the first things I did was exchange the weekly choir rehearsal, which we no longer could have, with a weekly choir Zoom party. And this allowed the choir themselves and other friends who would join us to keep caught up with each other, to talk, laugh, share their concerns, their fears about what was going on. And so I felt like that was a very important part of what we were doing. And as with many of the singers that felt comfortable continuing to come sing, we would have ensembles come in, continue, and we'd still do this, have people come in and sing for worship services on Sunday. We have this wonderful ability to do this effective live stream here in our sanctuary. So Brian Hagan does a fabulous job. And so it keeps the service as intact as possible as far as the amount of tradition and liturgy that we're used to providing for the congregation. And I would like to think that that has kind of helped them keep a sense of security about all of this. Music, as always, hymns, anthems, organ music, it's been a joy of mine to be able to help provide this sort of thing for our congregation. In July, we were doing the 3 times a week devotional offering from the church, and I decided I wanted to get in on that and started the Wednesday morning prayer service where the singers who were singing that on a Sunday would, after church, record the morning prayer to be broadcast that Wednesday morning. So far, it's had a pretty good response, I think. I've got a lot of nice email and text about that, and we certainly enjoy doing that. I think it feeds the performers as much as it does the listeners for that particular thing. We are going to continue on with things. This coming Sunday, we have an evensong that we're going to present that's going to be just totally live streamed with about 12 singers spread throughout the sanctuary, mostly in the bottom part of the sanctuary all the way to the back so that they can stay distanced. And it'll be the last Sunday for Lucy Turner, who very much enjoys the evensong service, so she will be officiating. And I also have the concertmaster, head violinist for the symphony, playing Daniel Satz, will be coming in and playing for part of the service, and then we'll do some organ music and violin music at the end. I think it'll be a beautiful service, and the choir is very much enjoying rehearsing for that. The traditional November organ recital series that's happened now since the 60s will continue this year. At the very minimum, the artists have agreed to come in and play a concert at 4 o'clock or whenever we have the concert time, totally live streamed. And if we have availability to have people in the sanctuary, then we will do a reservation to have people here to hear the recital. If we're only able to have just say 50 people, the performers have agreed to play the recital at 2 o'clock as well, so that we can have 2 audiences come in and thus have more people hearing live organ music. We have 4 incredible performers again this year, 3 from Texas. Monica Childs from Dallas, and Lutheran Church in Dallas, is a fabulous performer. He's playing first. Stefan Ingalls, who is a professor at Southern Methodist University, is playing second. Isabel Demers, who is professor of organ at Baylor University, is playing third. And then David Enlow, who's from New York City and is a freelance artist and performs at churches, is playing fourth. He was the former AGO dean for New York City. So all 4 of these people are just wonderful performers, and I'm really looking forward to hosting them this year. The annual IPC Choir Christmas concert is going to continue. It's going to be in a different format, And that's going to be on Sunday, December the 13th at 4 o'clock. And we've hired about an 11-piece orchestra, string orchestra, to come in and play. And then we'll have the choir again spread out throughout the sanctuary. So it'll be a live stream concert with no one attending because we'll have so many singers in here singing. But that's the idea. It would be a beautiful concert of music that is beloved by the congregation and the choir, for choir and orchestra, as well as many pieces for just orchestra alone. So really looking forward to presenting that for the Christmas season. And of course, as usual, the IPC choir will be doing their annual fruit sale. We can't have a December go by without selling some fruit, so everybody please contact your nearest and dearest choir member and buy some fruit. The delivery dates for that will be December the 19th and 20th. You'll be seeing more about that online and through a mail out. I did want to mention one last final thing that we're going to be doing that hasn't been advertised yet. So the IPC choir will be presenting a radio mystery theater. We are recording this theater show in 4 episodes that will be rolled out in 4 weeks during November. It is a Guy Noir mystery private eye radio play, complete with intrigue, sound effects, and whodunit mystery plot that even the most attentive listener will be challenged to solve. So I hope that you will look forward to this. We will have a lot more details coming out by email on the e-update and also on the website in the window in the upcoming weeks. The music and liturgy we do for the worship services is something that is very beloved to our congregation. It feeds the soul. You hear scripture read, but you also hear scripture sung. And for many of the choir members, whenever a familiar scripture is read, music immediately goes through their mind because they sung that scripture so much. So you have this wonderful sense of continuity of the two items coming together. I think that in itself is good, but also with the live stream, we get to see this beautiful place on the computer screen or TV screen, or however you're watching our services, and knowing that we are continuing worshiping God in this sacred space. I think just that in itself is a comfort for people. It is for me.